So hopefully we can have our practice help us, right? Regain that extra hour. They say that a good shavasana is better than a couple hours sleep. A really, really good shavasana, because you really relax even more. So hopefully we can do that. Okay, so welcome everybody at home. Just if you've been sitting for a while, just switch the cross of your legs, cross your shins right at the very center. And then just bring your fingertips alongside you. And keep your eyes open, looking straight forwards. And press your fingertips down and raise the sides of your trunk upwards. Bring your outer shoulders back. You can come on in, Jen, that's fine. And then see that the crown of your head is right over your pelvic floor, and bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum. So, and then attract your attention to your heart center. And lift your breastbone upwards. Begin to focus your attention here. As you start to attract your head to your heart, really come here to this practice this morning. Bring your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. Connect with your breath. Release yourself with your exhalations and open yourself up with your inhalations. Come here to this practice with all your heart, all your energy, all your focus, so that you can receive the many benefits of your practice. Good. Lift your breastbone upwards, bring the outer shoulders back, move the shoulder blades down and into your back. Relax your face, relax your jaw. And bring your head to your heart. Yoga teaches us that what is behind us and what is in front of us is truly nothing to what is within us. Yoga is the great invitation to come within, to look inside, to see who you really are. So feel that invitation, even if you're not fully ready to accept the invitation, that's okay. Just feel the invitation of yoga. Come within, see who you are, experience peace, experience freedom. This is the invitation of yoga. After your next exhalation, have a deeper inhalation. Oh. Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaya chakena yopa karutam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram Shankha Chakra Sitarinam Sahasra Shirsham Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Lift your chest upwards. Bow your head downwards. Release your hands to your thighs with your palms up. Raise your head and gradually open your eyes. Okay, and then stretch out your legs and just have a bolster, a blanket, couple of blocks, and a belt nearby. We'll use those as we move along. Let's just start in a restorative pose today. So have your bolster. Actually, let's put it, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, have the bolster this way. And you can have this blanket for your head and then just sit in front of your bolster about a fist distance. Actually, let's do this. Let's do it this way. I think it'll give us more opening in the chest. So turn your bolster sideways. That's it. And have your block here. Have the block there. So there's a little bit of space between the bolster and the block. And if you don't have a bolster, you can use folded blankets here. And then just sit a little bit more than a fist distance in front of this bolster. So cross your legs. And then when you go down, you make sure to have room to stretch your arms out. So if you're too close to the back wall, you'll have to bring your setup further out. So you have room because you don't want to deal with that because your mind will just go to that distraction of one arm bent. And then the block is under your head. Okay, so let's come into that pose. Just for a few moments, just to recover the energy. Have your legs crossed in swastikasana, unless that doesn't feel good for your knees or your hips. And then you'll need to just stretch out your legs. You'll have to come further out from the wall there. It looks like Wade, further out, because you won't have room to stretch out your arms. You might have to come out a little bit more, Susan, as well. Yeah, and today is a lucky day. We have lots of room. So let's take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of the room, the space we have. Akasha is space. We're always looking for that space inside. So make sure that your block is supporting both your head and your neck. It's not just like your neck isn't just hanging. And just make sure the bolster is more in your upper back, but your arms and your shoulders are above the bolster. Arms and shoulders are above the bolster, head is supported. And of course, if you need to make your head block higher, please do so. Yeah, especially those of you on the West Coast. Wow, I acknowledge your titiksha. We were talking about that word earlier today or earlier this week. Titiksha is a Sanskrit word. It means persistence, tenacity. So those of you, AJ and Natalie, who are in San Francisco, you're up even earlier than we East Coast folks. So just let your legs release, lengthen the sides of your trunk, coil the back armpit to the front armpit, spread your arms, palms are upwards. You could move your arms over the bolster. Arms are above the bolster. That's it. Yes, that's it. Lift your shoulder blades up into the back. Soften the face. What is within you, what is behind you, what is in front of you is truly nothing compared to what is within you. And this is the message of yoga. And the world teaches us that everything is outside, right? If you just get more stuff, you'll be happy. And yoga kind of challenges that premise. And then just stretch out your legs and switch the cross of your legs. Yes. Just let yourself be here, practicing yoga. taking care of yourself. Sometimes we have time to stream another show on Netflix, or we have time for another cup of coffee, but yet we somehow don't have time always to take care of ourselves. So when you come here, or you get online, or you practice at home, that's what you're doing. And it builds up over time. The more you do it, the feeling, the bhavana grows. And then suddenly you're more well. Have another few breaths in and out. And then before you come out of the pose, just kind of remember this pose. It's a great pose to do if you get online and the class hasn't started, or if you come to the room, the class hasn't started, or if you just come home from work, you're feeling exhausted. Anytime that you're feeling a little bit fatigued, this is one of them good poses to do to help refresh your nervous system. It also opens up your hips and your chest in a gentle way. And now extend your legs. And then bend your knees, roll to the side. Either side is fine. And we'll take downward facing dog pose. You'll have your hands towards the exit, those of you here, and just have your bolster up near the hand side of your mat. Have your bolster or your blocks up near the hand side. Take your feet at least as wide as your shoulders. Consciously choose what to do with your hands. So if you don't know what to do, make them straight so that your hands are as wide as the shoulders and your middle fingers are parallel to each other. If you need to turn your hands out a little bit, that's fine to get that turn, that rotation in the tops of the arms away from the neck. Press down into the mat, push the floor away from you. And pull your hips up and back. Yeah, that's it. Try having your blocks at the medium level. That's it. And lift up your heels, but keep moving the top of your chest back, turning the tops of the arms out. Draw your legs up. There you go. Inhale, and then exhale. Move your heels back and down. Moving the shoulder blades into the back, reaching from your shoulders back into the hands. Be more in your legs. That's it. And then step or jump forward. Have your feet under the hips, either as wide as your hips or as wide as your sticky mat, and concave your back. Have your fingertips up on the bolster or the floor. Yeah, that's fine. The floor, you could also use blocks, but look upwards. You want to get your upper back to move in. That's really good, Geraldine. Yes. So shoulder blades into the back. Think of your breastbone and your chin connected, and you're pulling your breastbone forwards because it's tethered to the breastbone. So pull that breastbone forwards as you move the chin forwards, move the tops of your ears back. Really pull your front body forward, and see if you can have more space between your torso and your legs. So the legs go back. That's it. Good. And then bring your hands flat and then bend your knees, either step or jump back into downward dog pose. That's it. Straighten your arms and straighten your legs. And just see, does the second downward dog feel any different? Mhm. Move your feet a little bit further back. Oh, you just self-corrected. That's good. There you go. Lengthen the sides of your trunk. Can you still feel that relationship as you move the tops of your thighs back? Can you sense that the abdomen gets longer and the sides of your trunk get longer? So the hips go back, the outer hips, the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer hips, and then lengthen the sides of your trunk. Be in your legs, heels back and down. Even if they don't make it down, fight to press them down. That's the way. Good. So you can also energize yourself with a more energized pose, can't you? It's not just a restorative pose. A good downward dog, just one, can really help you regain your energy. Now step or jump forwards. Again, have your feet hip distance or mat distance, concave your back again. Use your props. Look upwards. Make sure the hands are right under the shoulders. You could bring your hands a little bit further back, Nancy, right under the shoulders. Straighten your legs. Be on your fingertips, whatever's under your hands, be on the fingertips. Pull like you're pulling the floor backwards. Pull the breastbone forwards. That's it. Now, some of you can move your hands forwards if you have back or bone density situation. Go forwards with your hands, but keep your hips right over your ankles. Otherwise, take your hands out to the sides and release your head down. Release your head down. That's it. Spread your toes. And those of you who were here last week during the standing poses, can you move the skin on the tops of your feet back towards your ankles, but your toes and your metatarsals forward? Draw your legs up, keep pressing the thighs back. And those of you with your hands forward, pull your hips back away from your hands or your fingertips. Those of you with your hands out, lengthen down the sides of your trunk from your hips to your armpits and then to your elbows. And then some of you with your hands out, you can move your hands further back alongside your feet. So now your fingernails are lined up with your toenails, but just make sure that your hips didn't go back. Straighten your legs. Let the crown of the head release to the floor. Those of you with your hands out to the side. Good. Now everybody come back to concave back. Look upwards. That's it. Bring your hands onto the hips and come up. Great. Okay. And then let's turn to face the orange wall or the camera. Turn your mat sideways. All of you already have done that. That's it. Okay, so we're going to practice Trikonasana coming from Prasarita Padottanasana. Let me just do a quick demo. And some of you will need your blocks, right? So have the blocks handy on either side. So this is, of course, concave back, Prasarita Padottanasana. Then I just turn my feet in one direction. And I have my hand here or a block. And then I'm taking this leg up. And then we'll do that on both sides. And then we'll come back. Okay, so let's try that. So stand in Tadasana. We'll do that in a moment, not just yet. So bring your feet together, interlace your fingers in front of you, turn your palms forwards, raise your arms up. Raise those arms. Go back into your heels. The skin on the top of the foot moves back. Do you remember that, Kathy, from Tuesday? That's it. Move the thighs back, move the hips down. Make sure that you're not leaning back, Molly. Don't lean back. What goes back are your arms. Your arms go back, but not your shoulders, right? Yes, bring your arms down, reverse the interlace, and repeat. Urdhva Baddha Guliasana. That's it. There you go. Raise the ribs. Make your waistline longer. So think of, again, your hips firming in and stabilized, but can you lift your ribs up? Can you get that division, right, between your hips and your trunk? Yes. Now bring your arms forwards and down. And then bring your hands to your chest and either step or jump your legs apart. And bring your feet all the way out under your hands, the palms of your hands. Have the heels just a little bit wider than the toes. Bring your hands to the hips. Lift again the sides of the trunk. Roll the shoulders back. Parallel your elbows. Look to the top of whatever wall is in front of you. Use your thumbs to traction the buttocks down. And then just come halfway. Don't come all the way down. Pull forwards. Look forwards. So move the thighs back, but pull your side trunk forward. That's it. Breastbone forwards. Hang out here. Keep your kneecaps lifting. Now bring your hands down. Now bring your hands down to the floor, to the blocks, or a chair. Yes. Look upwards. Look upwards. Yes. Get your upper back to move in. Now turn your left foot in a little bit. Turn your right leg all the way out. Have a heel to arch alignment. Walk your hands to the right. Bring your right hand to your right shin or ankle. So you have to turn that right leg out, left foot in, and then bring your left hand onto the hip until you have your balance. Now, this is a wider way to come into the pose, isn't it? It's a sneaky, because usually we teachers, we don't have to say, take your feet wider, because you're wider, aren't you? So it's a sneaky way to get your legs wider. So, but if you feel too wide, like you're unstable, just heel to toe your back foot closer. But just notice that you're definitely wider, most of you. Yes, that's good. Yes. So now straighten your front leg, straighten your back leg, and bring your right hip back away from your right foot and then forward. Bring that outer right hip forward, the right buttocks. Bring your right hand higher if your top shoulder is going to the floor. Your top shoulder should be over your bottom shoulder. Get your top shoulder over that bottom shoulder. You can use this chair. That's it. So top shoulder over the bottom shoulder. Bring it closer in. There you go. Yes, look forward. Don't look down. Right buttocks forward, shoulder blade this way, forward. There you go. Bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum. Move your tailbone towards your back foot. Now, can you pull your chest away from your pelvis? Get that division, like the sides of your waist are elongating. Now take that top arm up. Yes, right buttocks forwards, right shoulder blade forwards. Pull your chest away from your pelvis. Nice. Now bring your left hand back to the hip. Bend your front knee, your right knee. Bring your right hand down. Bring your hands back to the center. Come back to the center. Turn your toes forwards. Inhale. As you exhale, turn your right foot slightly in. Turn your left leg out. Have a heel to arch alignment of your feet. Move your chair, to the other side there. And then bring your left hand to your ankle or your shin. Bring your right hand onto the hip. Yes. And then look towards the orange wall or towards the camera. Make sure you feel stable. If you feel like you're too wide, you can just bring the back foot a little bit closer. So you have to press that left big toe mound down, pull your left hip back away from your left foot, straighten, extend the left leg. Straighten your back right leg, rolling that outer right thigh back. Now bring your left buttocks way forwards and make sure that your shoulder, your right shoulder is over the left shoulder. Yes, and you're rolling the right ribs back. Bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum and move your tailbone towards your right heel. That's it. And then see if you can feel that feeling of pulling your chest away from your pelvis. And then lift up your right arm. This is so good, Jennifer. That's it. Lift up that right arm. Make sure that you're breathing. Keep lifting the trunk away. So I want your waistline to feel longer. That's gorgeous, Ben. Really nice. Good. Now bring your right hand back to the hip. Bend your left knee. Bring your left hand down. Walk back to the center. Okay, we've got the hang of it. Now let's do it one more time on that first side. So turn your feet to the right. Walk your hands over. And go into the first side. Go into that first side. Utthita Trikonasana. Yes, you can just lift up your left arm right from the get-go as soon as you have your stability. There you go. Nice, NJ. Beautiful. Straighten the legs. Lift up that left arm, Wanda. Lift it up. That's it. Janie, see if you can move your right hand lower. Move it lower down if you can. Ah, there you go, Janie. That was dramatic. Very good. Because you want, ideally, your spine to be parallel with the floor, right? Yes, good. Right buttocks in, right shoulder blade in, back of the head in line with the sacrum. pulling your trunk away from your pelvis. Nice. Bend your front knee, bring your hands down, come back to the center, walk forwards to the other side, or walk over to the left side. That's it. Left hand onto the leg, right arm up. That's it. Okay, Molly, that's good. Good. Get your stability. That's always, if you don't have your stability, you can't focus on the pose, right? So first is your stability, the earth element of earth, and then you can work from there. Lift your arm, straighten your legs, pull your trunk away from your pelvis. Left buttocks forwards, left shoulder blade forwards, relax your face. Good. Now bend your left knee, bring your right hand down and come back to the center. If you shortened your distance, take your feet a little bit wider. Make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the two short edges of your mat. And now just walk your hands forward or move your blocks or your chair forward for Adho Mukha Prasarita Padottanasana. That's it. So straighten your legs fully. Go all the way forward. So from your hips to your hands, you're in downward dog. From your hips to your feet, you're in Prasarita Padottanasana. Let your ears come level with your biceps, keeping the front body extending. You can have your palms flat, or you can be on fingertips, or of course, props. That's it. Lift your hamstrings, backs of the knees up, spread the inner thighs out, firm the outer hips in. Have some softer, smoother breaths. Walk your hands back under the shoulders, concave your back once again, bring your feet closer together. Bring your hands onto the hips, reach the chest forwards and come up. Good. Okay, bring your legs together. Stand in Tadasana. Feel the effects of those two poses, right? So thighs back, sides of the trunk upwards, shoulders back. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest. Step or jump your legs apart. Good. From the top of your right leg, turn your right leg out, turn your left foot in. So press the outer left foot, suck this left hip in so that your pelvis is relatively level. Interlace your fingers behind your back. If that's not working for you, use a belt. If your shoulders require that, that's fine. Just use a belt about shoulder distance. Hold on to a belt. Otherwise, your fingers are interlaced, your palms are open. Roll the shoulders back and bend your front knee for Virabhadrasana 2. Bend that front knee to a square. Make sure it's not coming past the ankle. Bend it more, Anne-Marie. So you have to get the knee right over the ankle. If this is bothering your knee, you have two choices. Just come in and out. You can also come to the Trussler here if this is better for your knee. Otherwise, you can just do it with straight legs. So then see, can you move this left shoulder and these left ribs back? Move your left shoulder and your left ribs back. Can you move your hips any lower, Regine? Move your hips down to the level of your knees. Spread your inner thighs. That's it. Now raise your arms. Virabhadrasana 2. That's it. Now as you raise your arms, just shoulder height, lift your trunk up, but move your hips down. Hips down, trunk up. That's the way. Go down with your hips a little bit more, Wanda. You're almost there. There you go. Now straighten the front knee. Turn your right toes forwards. Bring your hands to your hips. Deepen your breath. Remember, if I hold too long, just come out of it and then come back in. No worries with that. So raise your arms. Now turn from the top of your leg. Turn your left leg out. Turn the right foot in. Press this outer right foot to suck this right hip in. Interlace your fingers behind you the less habitual way. That's it. So the shoulders roll back. But then doesn't this right shoulder come forward? For all of us, it does, doesn't it? So move the right shoulders, but it's more than the right shoulders. It's these right ribs. They have to go back, the right ribs. That's it. Now inhale. So make sure your fingers are interlaced behind you first, Geraldine. We haven't bent the knee yet. Yeah, make sure this right foot turns in a little bit, this back foot, Jennifer. Yeah, that's it. Now bend your front knee to a square. Get your knee right over the ankle. Push into that left heel. Make sure your hands aren't there. You can pull them back a little bit away from the buttocks. Yeah. And then move the right shoulder back, move the right ribs back without letting the left knee drop in, right? So you have to lengthen the inner left thigh towards that knee. Your tailbone comes forwards away from your hands. Now inhale, and then slowly raise your arms just to the height of your shoulders and reach from your breastbone to the hands. But see if you can get that division of your trunk and your pelvis. So go down with your hips, go up with your ribs. That's it. And now straighten the front knee. There you go. Turn your left toes forwards. There you go. And bring your hands to your chest and step or jump your legs back together. Virabhadrasana 2. It's always startling, isn't it? It's always startling, that pose. Virabhadrasana 2. So put your blocks over here, or chairs, Rajiv and Wade. Just have them on the right-hand side of your mat there. Couple of blocks. And then take downward dog with your hands near the blocks. You can start with your blocks just a little bit wider than the mat. Yeah, you just put them outside. And then take downward dog. See how this one is feeling now. That's it. So with your arms straight and your legs straight and your hips pulling back, I want you to focus on pressing the thighs back. Use the chair against the wall like Wade is doing, Rajiv. It's going to give you a better pose. So as you pull your outer hips back and you move your inner thighs back and you move the fronts of your thighs back, I want you to feel like your waistline is getting longer. Your lower abdomen is getting longer. See if you can get any sense of that. That's it. Now, step your right foot up in between your hands. You can bring your knees down first if you need to. Step your right foot up. Turn your back heel down. That's it. And you might have to shorten your stance a little bit. So your back foot is turned at a 45-degree angle. Bring your blocks in at the highest level and straighten your front leg for concave back Parsvottanasana. That's it. So your back foot is turned in. I'm doing it if you need to see. And then you're looking forward, just like we did for that first Ardha Uttanasana. So drive your right big toe mound down. Make sure the blocks are right under the shoulders. There you go. And pull, as you drive the right big toe mound down, pull your right hip back. So bring the blocks back so that you're right under the shoulders. Maybe take a slightly shorter distance. Yeah, you can do what Wade is doing there, Rajiv. See how he turned the chair around? Do it like that. Yeah. Good. And you might, if you feel okay on the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, you can turn your sticky mat that way. Good. So as you get that right hip back, press the little toe side of your back foot down and move your left hip forward. Your hips should be even. Some of you can lower the blocks. Maybe you don't need the blocks. Yeah, lower the blocks. That's it. As your hips move back, can you pull the sides of your trunk forwards? Pull the sides of the trunk forwards. Look upwards, Wade, and get your right hip further back. Right hip further back, left hip further forward. Beautiful. Now move the blocks to the side and take downward dog. Downward dog. Yeah, that's good. Just use that. Good. Straighten the legs. Divide the pelvis from the ribs by pulling the hips back. And then bring your left foot up. Bring your left foot up. That's it. Turn your back heel down. If you need to shorten a little bit, you can, It's about 4.5 or 5 feet, one leg's distance. So straighten your front leg. Bring your blocks to the highest level to start off with. And press that left big toe mound down. Pull the skin on that outer left knee back. Move your inner right thigh back. So feel your hips and even them out. Can you turn this back foot more out to get the heel down? Does that feel okay? That's perfect. Yeah, that's it. If your back heel is coming up, try turning your back foot more out. As long as that feels okay for your knee. Your back is really rounded. Bring your blocks higher. Bring your blocks really higher. Your t-shirt on your back should be wrinkled. It should be coming away from the ceiling. And then some of you can move the blocks lower, but you need to stay there. Straighten the legs. Steer that left hip back. Become aware of your hips. Where is my left hip compared to my right hip? Your legs need to be straight, Wade. Straight legs, straight legs, straight legs. Put your hands up on the wall if the chair is too low. Just put your hands up on the wall. That's it. Good. Now move the props to the side and take downward facing dog pose. It looks like some of you could do this pose more often. You know, I do this pose every single day because my hamstrings, they need to be conditioned pretty much every day. In other words, they need to be lengthened. Once they do that, they cooperate really well. But it's a really good pose if you do have tight hamstrings. Works all three hamstrings. Trikonasana just works that inner hamstring. Good. Now step your right foot forward, turn your back heel down, come back to concave back. Back to concave back. Yeah, straighten your legs, straighten your legs. Parsvottanasana. Lift your chest upwards. Good. Straighten the right leg. Pull the right hip back. Straighten the left leg. See that your hips are even. Now, just like we did for Uttanasana, see if you can, some of you walk your hands and your blocks forward. That's it. Some of you take your hands and your blocks out to the sides and go down over your right leg. So either go forwards with the blocks or you can go out. I think go forward's a better choice for you. Yeah, that's it. Go forwards. And then, yeah, that's it. Let your head come down. So if your hands are forward, let your head come down in between your arms. Again, it's like downward dog. If your hands are out to the sides, bend your elbows and lengthen your spine down over your right leg. And of course, adjust the position of the blocks. They can probably go lower once you go down. There you go. Straighten your front right leg. Straighten your back left leg. That's it. Now bring the hands back under the shoulders and go back into downward dog. Downward dog. Parsvottanasana. Good. Bring your left leg forwards. Turn your back heel down. That's it. And if you move, start with the concave back. That's it. And then maybe you can, well, I don't know, maybe bring your hands onto the chair. Oh, that looks fine. Yeah, when we go down. That's it. So look upwards. First, get the legs straight, the hips even, and the upper back concave. But it's really the front body is lengthening. Are you still feeling like the hips are going back, especially that left hip, and the trunk is going forwards? And then take the second position. Either move your hands forward and let your ears come down, or take your hands out to the sides, turn your abdomen to the left, and lengthen down over the left leg. Move your blocks lower accordingly. And think of, even if you're going forwards, you're still getting that length, that division. If you're going down, pull the ribs down. That's it. Don't think of your head going down. Think of your breastbone going beyond your knee. Then you can relax the head down, but don't lead with the head. This looks good, Regine. How does it feel? Maybe take a slightly shorter distance. You're a little bit too long. There you go. Nice. Bring the blocks back. Downward facing dog pose. Is anyone feeling your hamstring stretching? Yes, good. Yes, it's important to do that. Remember, when we say open your hips, people say, oh, that's not the hamstrings. People only think of the outer hips, but it's really the hamstrings also are a big part of your hip and your back. If your hamstrings are tight, there's a reason for that phrase, hamstrung. Good. Now step or jump your feet forwards. That's it. Good. And again, have your feet hip distance apart or mat distance. Concave your back. Look upwards. Hands under the shoulders. Use any props you need. Pull the breastbone forwards. Get the ribs away from the thighs and the pelvis, and either move your hands and your blocks forwards again. Otherwise, take your hands out to the sides. Those of you who can, hold on to the backs of your ankles near to the heels and bend your elbows away from each other. Inhale, empty out your abdomen, and then go down with your trunk. Don't think of going in, go down. Go down, down, down. Outer hips in. Pull like a handlebar on your legs. Keep your kneecaps lifting. Make sure that your hips aren't back. Bring the crown of the head towards the floor. Yes, those of you with your hands down. If your hands are forward, of course, your ears are level with the biceps. Okay, and now bring your hands back and then bring your hands to the hips and come up. Well done. Turn again towards the camera or the orange wall and bring your heels here. Some of you will need your props in front of you. Okay, so and we're going to do the pose with the legs wide and the head down. So some of you might need a block for your head or a blanket for the head, but some of you are going to take the arms forward. So bring your hands out and just step now. Just bring your feet all the way out under the fingertips. Now it's wider. It's that wider distance. Heels a little bit wider than the toes. Again, bring your hands to the hips. Parallel your elbows, raise the ribs up, and kind of use your hands to move the hips down as you lift. Move the buttocks flesh down. Roll the shoulders back, look to the top of your wall. And again, come down, but don't go down. Look forwards, halfway down. Hold yourself here. Start to get into this habit. It's a good habit. Support the pose with your legs. Now bring your hands down. Concave your back. Look forwards, shoulder blades in, get the wrinkles in your back. Straighten your arms on the seat of the chair, Rajiv. Straighten the arms. That's it. Good. Now, some of you walk your hands forward. Some of you go back with your hands and rest your head on the floor. Rest your head on the floor there. That's it. Bring your hands back in line with the edge of the sticky mat where your heels are. Keep your shoulders and your elbows and your wrists all the same distance apart. There you go. Straighten the legs, spread the toes, and bring your hands back to the edge of the mat, just like your heels. So this is all in a straight line. Does that feel okay? That's it. Straighten your legs, bring your hips forwards, Regine. There you go. I don't think you need that block. Maybe a folded blanket. Try a folded blanket. Yeah. As you lift your hamstrings up, you need to lift your hamstrings to get down. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Just straighten these arms. And then spread your legs, the inner thighs, firm your hips in, and rest your head on the floor, but lift your shoulders up and move them in. Move the shoulders up and in. Good. Okay, now walk your hands back under your shoulders, concave your back. Lift your chest upwards. So just straighten your hands, put your hands on the seat of the chair, closer to right near your shoulders and look upwards like that. Good. Bring your feet closer together. Bring your hands to the hips and up you come. Come back to Tadasana. Just feel the effects. Those are some standing forward bends, right? See how they affect you, what they challenge in your body, what comes better, what doesn't come so well. And then notice your breath after those standing forward bends, the state of your mind. Okay, and then those of you, let's go and get ready for a headstand pose. Get ready for a actually, we're gonna do handstand first. So move to the wall, move the short edge of your mats to the wall. Move your blocks, those of you here, more to the center of the room. So they're out of the way. Just bring the short edge of your mat to the wall. And then I'm going to give 3 options, right? If you can do full arm balance, I want you to do full arm balance, standing on your hands with your heels on the wall. If you can do half full arm balance, walk your feet up the wall. You walk your feet up. Otherwise, just do downward dog with your hands at the wall. One of those 3 options, okay? One of those 3 options. Okay, so those of you doing full arm balance, place your hands, turn your hands out 45 degrees, and then walk in, bring your shoulders over your wrist, look forward, step one leg forwards, bend that knee, keep your other leg back, and then go up with the straight leg. Go up with the inner thigh of the straight leg. Those of you walking your feet up the wall, come onto the hands and the knees, and then walk your feet up the wall, lift your hips up to the wall, Wade. Move your chest back to the wall. Let your crown of your head go down. There you go. Straighten your arms. Either pose that you're in, lift your hips up. Either pose, lift your hips up. Those of you in the full arm balance, That's it. Keep your heels on the wall. Bring your middle buttocks forwards, shoulder blades in. That looks good. Yes. Okay. And then come down with the same leg that you came down with, you went up with, excuse me, and rest either in child's pose or you can do angular uttanasana, having your hips on the wall and your legs forwards, and then you're holding the elbows. So Baddha Hasta Uttanasana with your sitting bones supported on the wall. Otherwise, child's pose is fine. And for that one, you might want to do this. Yeah, you can put your hands on the chair and see if that works. Yeah, that's fine. Straighten those legs. Relax your breath. Good. And then let's repeat that. Does anybody have any questions at home or here? So those two poses, right? If you're getting up well, go up with your less habitual leg. That's it. Good. Yes. Yeah, just make sure is that okay not to slip? Otherwise, you can roll the sticky mat over it. Yeah, because you don't really need, yeah, that's it. And just have the heel of your hands on the slanted part. Does that feel okay, Susan? Okay, good. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so get ready. And then see if you can go up with your less habitual leg. Otherwise, walk your feet up the wall. Ask yourself, are my arms straight, Anne-Marie? Are my arms straight? Use a belt. If your arms are not straight, use a belt on your upper arms. Are my hips up? Hips up as high as I can go. Are my feet up as high as I can go? If you're in the full arm balance, your arms are really bending, you need a belt for your arms, Rajiv. That's it. There you go. Lift upwards. Those of you in the full arm balance, look down at the floor. Look down at the floor. That's it. Yes, AJ. Keep your breastbone lifting. Nice. Okay, and then come down and rest in child's pose or rest in Uttanasana with your sitting bones at the wall. Feet forwards, hold the opposite elbows. Exhale your breath. Okay, then come on up and let's get ready for Shirsasana, headstand pose. If you're not doing headstand today, then I want you to put your legs up the wall without support. Just have your legs going up a wall and you'll lift your arms up over your head. So you'll be in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana if you're not doing head balance today. Those of you putting your legs up the wall, get your hips as close to the wall as you can. Those of you doing headstand, you can stay at the wall or you can move to the center if you're practicing in the center now. That's it, Nancy. Good. That looks really good, Geraldine. Now, those of you with your, your legs up the wall, once you have your legs set up, your hips are close to the wall, move the thighs back, reach up through those inner feet, and then just raise your arms up alongside your ears. Yeah, those of you with your legs up the wall, if you need a blanket for your head and your neck, you can always take that. Yeah. So go up. Those of you in head balance, feel your forearms and press them down. And lift the shoulders up. Move the shoulder blades forwards into your back. And then as you lift your hips up away from the shoulders, can you get that same division, right? So you're now the arms are the base and you're lifting your hips away from your shoulders to lengthen your waistline. And then roll the thighs in, and reach the inner legs up to the inner feet to infinity. Inner heels up, big toe mounds up, lift your buttocks up. So you get that division. Those of you with your hands on the legs up the wall, see if you can lock your thumbs above you, as long as that feels okay for your shoulders today. And lengthen, again, your ribs away from your pelvis. So it's like your hips are moving down into the floor, your legs are going to the wall, but you're pulling your ribs upwards. So get that division. Keep your inner feet reaching upwards. Everybody, inner heels, big toe mounds. Those of you with your legs up the wall, switch the cross. That looks really good, Rajiv. That's a nice pose. Very vital. That's it. Reach upwards, inner feet up. Regine, move your left leg in. Roll the left leg in. There you go. And reach up through that left inner heel. That's it. Good. Just move the tip of your nose a tiny bit to the right. Perfect. Good. And lift up that right shoulder and roll your left leg in. And I actually have to do the same. That's the same alignment my teacher often says to me. That looks good, NJ, from the side. Yeah. See if you can lift your shoulders anymore. Get that upper back in more. Yeah, but that's looking pretty good. You're very straight. Good. That's helpful to see it from the side sometimes. Now, those of you with your legs up the wall, bring your arms back. That's it, alongside your body. Good. Those of you in headstand, keep your shoulders lifting. Start to come down and rest in child's pose. Those of you with your legs up the wall, just pull your knees into the chest and wrap your arms around the legs for Pavamuktasan. Pavamuktasan. So either child's pose with your arms forwards or Pavamuktasan. Good. So come down now, Raji. That's a really good hold though. Yeah, and rest in child's pose. Okay, and then come back up, come back to the center of the room, but turn your mats, front to back. So we started with the mat sideways, now go front to back. And we're going to do some seated hip opening and forward bending postures. So those of you who need to, have a chair nearby, have some blocks for sure nearby, maybe have a bolster nearby. And let's just start sitting either on your blanket, a folded blanket that we were using earlier, like for the head, or you can also sit on a bolster and have your blocks where you can reach for them. Okay, and then sit towards the back of your blanket or your bolster. Sit towards the back. There you go. And just bring your right foot under your left knee. Bring the right foot under the left knee, not too far back towards the hip, just under the knee. That's it. And then bring your left foot under your right knee. That's it. And make sure that you're more towards the back. That's it. Good. And then either have, a block for your head, or you'll have a chair for your forearms, a block or chair for the forearms. Okay, so let's raise the arms upwards, but move your thighs down. If you find that your knees are higher than your hips, add another folded blanket, add some more height. Add some more height under there, or sit on your bolster. The bolster also works. But sit towards the back. That's it. And then once you get that extension, so are you pulling the ribs up and the thighs going down? If you don't get the sense of your thighs and your hips moving down, it's better to sit higher up if you feel like you're kind of going nowhere. And then turn your palms forwards and come forwards. Make sure that you're hinging from here. It's not from your back, but hinge from your pelvis. That's like the hinge of the door. Bring your fingertips here and look upwards. You can bring your hands onto the chair. Yeah, you'll need your chair in front of you there. Wait. And then look upwards. Look up, pull that breastbone forwards. Walk your hands all the way forwards and maybe a little bit wider, wider than your mat, and rest your head on your brick. Rest your head on your brick. That's it. Good. I don't recommend the wood block on the chair because it will slip, so I'll get you a foam block. And there you go. So just kind of feel how it feels. Make sure that you're hinging from your hips, not from your back. Your back is getting the benefit. It should feel like your back is a river going forward. You're going forward with your trunk. Walk your hands further forward. Pull your ribs away from your pelvis as you move the sides of your trunk forwards, and you move the thighs down. Just open up that blanket one more time so it's a little bit less bulky. There you go. Good. Now, once you're there, can you pull the breastbone forwards? As long as you can keep your upper back moving in, move the head block lower. Move it lower down if you haven't already. As long as you don't feel like you're shortening your front spine. As soon as you feel like you're shortening the front spine, then you need to keep the block higher. But rest your head on that block there, Wade. You have to pull the chair closer to you and rest your head on the block and move the block higher. Yeah, because your front spine is really, I would move it to the highest level. I would turn the chair this way, turn the chair around. Yeah, this way. Is this okay for your knees? Okay, good. Just put your hands up here. You could also do that. I think that's fine, Rajiv. Okay. Exhale into those outer hips. Okay, and then walk your hands back. Move your block to the side and stretch out your legs. Good. And then bring your left foot under the right knee and bring your right foot under the left knee. Make your feet soft. Sometimes we flex the feet, right? So soften the feet. Move your hips way back towards the back of your props. And then again, raise your arms upwards and make sure that you're on enough height that your thighs aren't coming up. So go down with your sitting bones, go down with your thighs, but lift the rib cage up. That's it. Now turn your palms forwards. Inhale, come down. Concave your back. Be on your fingertips. Look upwards. Get your upper back in, and then start with a high block. And then walk your hands forward. Take your hands wider and rest your head on the brick. Once your head is on the brick, yeah, that's a good way to work, Wade. Very nice. Yeah, that's it. You're good. Very creative. So again, C is one side tighter. So as you exhale your thighs down, move your outer hips down. And then see if you can walk your hands a little bit further forward to, again, get that division of your pelvis and your ribs. And then once you're there for a few breaths, see if you can pull your breastbone further forwards away from the navel. Maintain that extension of your front spine and maybe move the head block lower. Maybe move it lower. But it's not about just bringing the head down. You know, that's not what it's about. It's about keeping the length on the front spine. So it's better to have a higher block with an extended front spine than a lower block and a shortened front spine. Make sure that you're hinging from the hips. That's that doorway. Exhale your breath. The forward bends, once you get acclimated to them, that takes a while, but once you get acclimated and they start to come pretty well, they also can be a great way to recover your energy. Do a few forward bends. And with head support is even better. Good. Okay, and then start to come up out of the pose. Move your block to the side, stretch out your legs. Good. And come forwards more towards the front of your blanket. Take your feet as wide as your mat. And just bring your right hand and lean to the left and just pull your right hamstring from the back of the knee and then pull your buttocks flesh back. So it's not just the buttocks flesh, it's the hamstring, how it connects to the buttocks. Do the same thing on that left side, hamstring and buttocks back. So you should feel like your pelvis is slightly tipping forwards. If it isn't, you have to sit higher, right? Have your block here. Some of you will need 2 blocks. Some of you will need a chair, right? Over your shin bones. Yeah, so get whatever you need, okay? So raise your arms up, go up, move the thighs down, lengthen your inner legs forwards, reach through those inner feet, pull upwards, sit higher. If you feel like you're falling back like this, you have to sit higher. Don't be afraid to build a tower for yourself. Have that courage. And then come forwards, hold onto your outer feet and look upwards. If you can't reach to the outer feet, hold on to the shins or the ankles, whatever you can do. And then concave your back, look upwards, look up. Yes, if you're using a chair, you can bring your hands onto the seat of the chair and look up. Look upwards towards the top of your ceiling and then bend your elbows out. Look how I have my elbows going out and up, and then bring your head down to that block. Build the tower under your head higher if you need to. Yes. Now press your legs down. Make sure that your toes are going straight upwards. Where are your thumbs? Are your thumbs on the tops of your feet? See if you can bring your thumbs to the bottoms of your feet with your other 4 fingers. Nice. Press your thighs down. Bend your elbows away from each other. Yes. And as you bend your elbows away from each other, lift them up so that your upper back comes in. Keep moving your breastbone forwards. And then maybe you can move the head block lower. You know, you have to see once you're in the pose for a little while. Now, make sure your toes are going straight upwards. Anne-Marie, they're falling out. Your feet are falling out. Bring your thumbs to the bottoms of the feet. That's it. Good. I would just turn towards the rope wall there, Wade, and use the ropes. Use the ropes. And if you want to do that also, Rajiv, you could do that. Turn and have your feet at the wall. Sit on your chair. Sit on your chair. Now feel your elbows and move your elbows as far forward as you can. Can you feel that, Susan? Move the elbows forward so that your ribs come away from your hips. Move the elbows forward. Elbows forward. Ah, that's it. Yes. Okay, now press your legs down and come back up. Good. Yeah, that's it. So have your legs straight. You'll need your chair on your mat because otherwise it will slip back, right? But we're done with that now. Okay, so move your block to the side, hold on to your inner knees and bring your legs like this. And of course, you all know for all of these, you have to adjust your height, the height of your hips. So if your knees are super high, you have to sit higher. That's it. Have your block nearby, your chair nearby. So push the little toe sides of the feet into each other, heels into each other. Just bring your fingertips here. So Baddha Konasana. Have your sitting bones on the blankets and then lift. Lift the ribs up. Roll the outer shoulders back. How are you all doing? Okay? Yes, good. So these are nice poses to do when you need to get an extra hour in that you've lost. Okay, good. Now, bring your arms upwards. That's it. But don't let your knees come up. That's it. Turn your palms forwards. Hinge from here, not from here. Right? It's like you're reaching, and then you bring your hands down. That's it. Now look upwards. Concave your back. Move your outer thighs down, and then rest your head on your props. Move them higher. You can use 2 blocks. You can use a chair, whatever you need to use. Have your hands to the top of the chair, Rajiv. Top of the chair. That's it. Press your heels into each other. Where are you hinging from? Hinge from your hips. Lengthen those inner thighs towards the inner knees and move the outer knees back into the hips. Now walk your hands further forward. What I'm after today is that separation, it's really an extension of the spine. Take your hands wider, be on your fingertips, go further forwards. And as long as you can keep the length on your front spine, then you can lower the blocks. Lower the blocks and exhale your breath. Exhale that breath. Nice. Make sure your head is resting on something, Anne-Marie. Your head has to rest. You can turn the chair around that way. Yeah, that's looking precarious. Maybe use two bolsters like he's using. Yeah. Okay, and then walk your hands back. Move your block to the side and stretch out your legs. Isn't that an intense one? An intense one, isn't it? It really is. If you have, if you have inner groins that are tighter, just like the hamstrings, just find a few poses that really work for your body and then practice those. It doesn't take much. And if you just practice them, your body will change. And I can speak from personal experience about that. Yes, the height works. Yeah, I use height. And then over time, especially if I'm doing a longer practice, I go lower and lower, but I start really high, even on a chair with the rope. It doesn't matter. You have to kind of get humble. You'll be where you need to be. Okay, so now let's do Upavishta. So this is where you take the legs wide, right? This way. You take your legs wide apart. So if you feel like this is not good for your legs, you can turn towards the exit and take your legs so that your feet can be on the mat. If that really bothers your heels, you can do it that way. Otherwise, you can be here. And then you have to adjust your height again. Maybe you don't need as much height or maybe you need more. So if you can sit on the floor, I want you to sit on the floor. That's it. And then just take your left hand and move this right inner thigh down, push it down, and lift your outer right thigh up. And then feel if that doesn't help your right leg get a little bit closer. Keep your right kneecap up, your left toes up, your right toes up. Now do the same thing on that left thigh. With your right hand, move the inner left thigh down and the outer thigh up. And then really get that left leg down. All of your toes are upwards. That's it. Now interlace your fingers in front of you. Raise your arms up. Make sure that you're sitting on enough height that you're not falling back into the tailbone. That's really good weight, but you'll need to turn towards the wall because you'll have no place to go when we bend forward, right? So you have to turn towards the wall. So lift your ribs up, but move those thighs down. Can you feel the floor with the backs of your knees if you're on the floor? That's it. Good. And then bring your arms down, reverse the interlace, and do that one more time. Go all the way up. Yes. Ribs away from hips. Good. Now separate your hands, turn your palms forwards, hinge again from here, and then just watch as you go slowly. Don't let your legs roll in. Don't let your legs do that, right? Keep your outer thighs rolling down. Come here, make sure to have your props, right, for your head. And then look upwards. Look, get the breastbone in, walk your hands forward and rest your head on your brick. Yes, or your chair. That's it. Straighten your legs. Your toes should be going straight upwards. So the outer thighs have to roll down. The inner knees go down. The legs are straight. That looks really good, AJ. How are these feeling for your back, AJ? Are you doing okay today? Okay, good. Thank you. Press your thighs down. Now walk your hands forward. Once you have your legs, I want you to get that extension. Yes. And then as long as your breastbone is, no, walk your hands up the wall, up the wall, up the wall. Yes, keep your head in between your arms. Yeah, that's it. And just have your feet like this. So like that. That's it. No, just the heels, just the big toe side of your foot is on the wall. That's it. Yes. Get your inner heel closer. Make sure that you're not falling off your props. Keep the breastbone coming forwards. And then some of you can move the head support lower as long as you're maintaining that length on the front spine. You can go lower, Ben. Get those thighs down. That's it. There you go. A good way to work is just for a moment, bring your chin onto your block. Bring your chin onto the block. Yes, there you go. Walk your hands further forward and then maintain that, and then bring your head back down. That's another good way to work. Yes. Okay, and then bring your hands alongside your head. Press your hands down to come up. Move your props to the side and bring your legs back together. Good. And just sit in Dandasana. Feel the effects. Okay, now we're going to do Gomukhasan. So some of you can just turn your blanket this way. Some of you, if you're on one or two blankets, you can turn the blankets this way so the fringes go back. Others of you, and myself included, can use a bolster. So I'm just going to sit on the front edge of a bolster, and you might even need, to put a blanket on top once you see what I'm going to do. Okay, and this may not work for your knees. So you can do, if this doesn't work for anyone's knees, you can do this one again. Otherwise, watch what I do. So now I bring this foot, not just under my knee, but I bring it over. Can you see that at home? Make sure, so it's outside my hip. And then I bring this leg over. And then you might have to move this top calf muscle forward. So see how my knees are right above each other and my feet are outside this. Can you all see that at home? Give me a thumbs up if you need to see from, okay, great. Okay, so this is, and we'll be here for a while. If you need your blocks, if you're sitting high, just have your blocks, and then we're going to come forwards. Now for this one, you may not be able to take head support. That's okay, because you might, yeah, and then you can just let your head come down this way. If you can take head support, go for it, but it's a little bit, different. Okay, so let's sit on your prop. Sit on your prop with your legs extended. We'll all go in together. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your right leg under your left knee and then over outside your left hip. It comes outside the hip. And then bring your right leg over, or the left leg over that right leg. That's it. And then if you need to, if you have bulky calf muscles like I do, just push that top calf muscle forward. And then see if you can use your hands to push your top knee to the right and your bottom knee to the left. Yeah, so your knees are stacked. And yeah, does this feel okay, Wade? Well, it seems like, yeah, this is always the case. If those with knee trouble, sometimes this works. Okay, so bring your hands onto the floor or props and lift. Yes. Now we're targeting a different area of the hips. Can anyone feel that? So we've targeted the hamstrings, we've targeted the inner thighs. Now we're targeting these outer hips. There you go, good. Okay, so raise your arms upwards, turn your palms forwards, lock your thumbs and lift. And remember, you can stay here. If this is excruciating for anybody, please let me know. Those of you at home, just take a moment to unmute and switch the cross of your thumbs. Are you getting that separation? That looks gorgeous, Jennifer. Hips down, ribs up. Some of you, if you need to sit higher, come out of it and sit higher. If you need to sit lower, sit lower. Good. Now come forwards. You could have your hands on blocks or chairs. Go forwards. And then take a moment, concave your back. Pull the breastbone forwards. Look upwards. That's it. And then move your hands further forward. You can always go wider. Wider always feels delicious, doesn't it? And then let your head come down. Go wider. Yes. Have the blocks at the highest level, Wade, the highest level. And then go all the way forward until your breastbone comes over your top knee. Your breastbone is coming over the knee. Yes. Is that okay, Anne-Marie? Can you do that? If it doesn't work, do it with straight legs, Paschimottanasana. Yeah. There you go. Does anyone feel your outer hips? Yes, that's it. So walk your hands forward, get that separation of your ribs and your pelvis. The outer hips go down. Ah, that's it. Can you feel them? That's it. There you go. That looks good, NJ. Nice. And then walk your hands back and stretch out your legs. All right. I know, get okay, now bring your left leg under your right knee and over to the side, and then bring your right leg over. Push the bottom knee to the right, the top knee to the left. Bring your fingertips alongside you and lift. Rolling the shoulders back. That's it. Can you feel all the stuff that's stored in your hips? The hip joints are it's the biggest joint in our body. It's a complicated joint, right? So, it gets tense and you get stored tension there, stored stress. So it's good to do these. So lift upwards. Now raise your arms, lock your thumbs, get that separation of your thighs and your hips down, but your ribs up, switch the cross. That's it. And then turn your palms forwards, come down, bring your hands onto your props, look upwards, lift, pull the breastbone over your top knee, and then go forwards. Go forwards. Move your ribs away from your hips and make sure to exhale. The exhalations are so important. That's it. If you can keep the front spine, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good what you're doing, Susan. There you go. Yes. Is one side tighter? Is one hip a little bit less cooperative? Can you rest your head on that? Does that feel okay? Yeah, there you go. I would use this. This side looks a little bit different than the other side, does it? Okay, so put your hands up here then, go higher. That's always the rule. If it's, go higher, go wider. Yeah, and see if that works. Does that feel better? Yeah, that's it. Good. Rest bone forwards. Okay, now bring your hands back. Okay, and stretch out your legs, really open up the backs of the knees. And then go back to your first prop. Maybe it's a folded blanket. Some of you maybe can sit on the floor now because we're going to do Paschimottanasana again, right? Paschimottanasana again. And the legs are now going to be closer together. So you can still sit on your bolster. You'll need to turn back towards the wall there, away. You can also go back to the wall if you need to. So again, adjust the hamstring and the buttocks. So pull that back so you feel like you're more towards the front of your sitting bones. Have your blocks here, have your blocks, here in between your shin bones or your chair over your shin bones. And if this is a really hard pose for you, sit higher and do it again with your legs wider. Have your legs as wide as the sticky mat. Otherwise, the legs are a little bit closer now. Raise your arms up. Make sure that you're on the front of the blankets. So make sure that your pelvis is tipping forwards. If it's not tipping forwards, you'll have to sit higher. So you need to turn the bolsters sideways, Wade. Turn the bolsters sideways. And then come forwards. Again, hold your outer feet. Lift upwards, look upwards, and then bend your elbows out and up and rest your head on your props. Rest your head, your forehead on your props. Yes. And then once you're there, bring your thumbs to the bottoms of the feet. No, the legs are together now or at mat distance. And then hold on to these upper ropes and walk your hands all the way up. Don't let your head go down because when your head goes down, this goes in. You need to sit up on your chair. The chair is a better choice. So bend your elbows away from each other and then pull your elbows forward. Can you feel that, Regine? Yeah, elbows forward, forward. Even move your wrists forward, your wrists. Yeah, so your wrists are more rounded than collapsed. That's it, Susan. Move your upper arms forward, go forwards, move those legs down. That's the way. See if this one comes any different after those other hip openers that we did. So Paschimottanasana, rest your head. Nice. Okay, and then bring your hands back. Nice. Okay, just sit in Dandasana and just take a moment, feel the effect. Does anyone get a sense of calm? You get more of a sense of calm, right? Yeah, you get a sense of calm. Yeah, so that comes over time. If your hamstrings are screaming, your hips are screaming, your back is aching, you won't feel calm. You'll feel something else, but over time it can come. So that's good news, right? Over time. Okay, so now watch what we're gonna do for our shoulder stand today. So you'll have your mat against the wall, okay? And then you'll open up a blanket this way. So come and watch, those of you at home. So you have a blanket open this way, away from the wall. And I'll give options, those of you not doing classic shoulder stand, and take 3 or 4 blankets. I like 4, but you can take 3 or 4. And then notice how these other blankets, these 4 or 3 or 4 blankets come. So see how the fringes are all in a straight line if you have this style of blanket. And then you have this sticky mat come up halfway. And then you have a bolster here. and you pull all of this back to the wall. So that's the setup. And then the only other thing you need is a belt for your arms. Have a belt. Those of you not doing this, okay, those of you not doing this, the first thing I want you to do is just come onto your back. And you'll be, when we do, I'm going to show something, but when we do the version at the wall, you'll be doing the version on the floor, right? So you'll just be lifting up your hips a few times. So you can do that once I show what I'm going to show. Okay? Those of you, once you have your setup, I want you to come watch and I'll show what I want you to do. This is a great way to practice shoulder stand. The belt is just about as wide as your shoulders. Maybe a little bit wider, you know, outer shoulder to outer shoulder. Those of you on the floor, what you can do is you can set up later on, you'll be doing legs up the wall with a bolster under your hips. Okay? Make sure to let me know if that's not clear, because it's, you know, can get confusing because everyone's doing something slightly different. That looks good. Okay, so even if you're not completely done setting up, come and watch. So I just have my belt in one hand and I'm just coming down. I bring my shoulders one thumb's distance to the edge. Now, what I didn't mention is that if you're taller, you might need a block in between the bolster and the blankets. You have to move your setup a little bit further out. You might need more space. So the challenge with this pose, or one of the challenges, is you want to keep your shoulders one thumb's distance away from the edge, because sometimes we just slide off the blankets. So I just press my feet down, and notice my feet are higher than my hips, and I come all the way up, and you even come up on the tips of your toes. And then you can put that belt on your arms, and you can interlace the fingers. So I'm trying to get the hips all the way over my shoulders, pressing my shoulders down. So we'll do that a couple times, and then you just bring your hands onto the back. If you can do skin to skin, even better. And then you take one leg up, and then the other leg up. Shoulder balance. Now to come down, you define the same thing. You find the wall, and you take your belt off, and you come down. Okay, get ready. Those of you not doing this, you're on your back, and when we lift up the hips, you're doing Shatush Padasana. And you can do that more times. You can do it 3 or 4 times. It's fine. You can hold on to the side edges of the sticky mat and just lift up your hips up and down a few times. Everybody else, get your shoulders one thumb's distance away from the edge of the blankets. That's it. Just hold your belt. Don't put your belt on because you have to have the belt behind you. That's it. Good. And then once you're there, slowly begin to keep your feet higher than your knees on the wall. Slowly lift up so you don't slide back. Lift up your hips as high as you can go, and then put your belt on your upper arms above the elbow joints and interlace your fingers over the bolster and press down. Interlace the fingers. Be on the tips of your toes. The tips of your toes. Yes. Bring your hips forward. Hips forwards. That's it. Get the shoulders down. That's it. Open up the front body. Open up that front body. So interlace your fingers, Anne-Marie, over the bolster. Press your arms down. Interlace the fingers. Press the arms down. Be on the tips of your toes. You're a little bit too far from the wall. That's okay. And then separate your hands. Come down for a moment. Come down and rest. We'll do that again. Yes. Good. So keep your feet, those of you on the floor, you're just doing Shatush Padasana, right? Once again, lift up your hips nice and slowly without sliding back. Don't slide back. Don't slide back. That's it. Interlace your fingers the less habitual way. Yes. Get up on the top of the shoulders. Bring the hips forwards. Yes. Be on the tips of your toes. Press the blankets with your outer shoulders. Shoulder blades up. Good. And then separate your hands and come down. Now, those of you who are doing Shatush Padasana, just go to the wall and put your legs up the wall. Or you can also do chair shoulder stand if you prefer. So those of you doing Shatush, but now you want some height under your hips. Those of you putting your legs, have a bolster or blankets under your hips. Everybody else, one more time. Lift up your hips. Lift up those hips. There you go. Be on the tips of your toes. Can you feel your middle buttocks coming in? Outer shoulders down. Now bring your hands onto the back. If you feel comfortable, pull your t-shirt down so you have skin to skin. Walk your hands down to your ribs. Lift the skin of your back up. Now keep your left foot on the wall and lift your right leg up. Lift the right leg up. No, straight up, not towards your head, straight up to the ceiling. Good. Now bring the right foot to the wall, finger toe tips to the wall. Lift your left leg up, straight up to the ceiling. Walk your hands lower. Now lift your right leg off the wall. Lift the right leg off the wall. Yes, keep reaching up through the legs. Reach. Move the hips away from the wall. Nice, Rajiv. That's it. That's excellent. Good. Roll the thighs in. Your hips have to come forwards. Hips forwards, away from the wall. Walk your hands down your back. Yes, get those outer shoulders down. And see that your hips are right over the shoulders. So your hips have to come forwards, but your legs go a little bit back. That's good, Nancy. Roll those thighs in. Keep walking your hands down the back. Soften the sides of your neck. Those of you with your legs up the wall, reach your heels upwards, roll your thighs in, let your hips rest on the bolster, the support. Yeah. Rajiv, I'm so proud of you. Your practice is improving. Are you sensing that? Yeah, that's good. Good for you. This is a great pose. Really good. That's it. Good. Nice. See if you can lift a little bit more, but can you keep your neck relaxed? Press your upper arms down. It's really good for your lats, the muscles on your back. When you press those upper arms down, the rhomboids, bring your shoulder blades into the back. Let your face spread and soften. Good. Now bend your knees and bring your feet back to the wall. So take your belt off of your arms and slowly come down. Just keep your head back. Just let your head be back. Just stretch your legs up the wall. Stretch your legs up the wall. Yeah. The only thing you forgot is your bolster there, but that's okay, Rajiv. Just slide further back now because you need a bolster there, but that's okay. Yeah, just do Shavasana. You can just do Shavasana right there. Just lie on your back, cross your legs over the blankets. If you need one of these blankets for your head, just take it. Yeah, that's a great Shavasana. Okay, and then slide your shoulders off the blankets. And then you can cross your legs over your props. Just cross your legs over your props. That's the way. Yes. And really exhale. If you need a blanket for your head, just take one from your pile there. Just take one from the pile for your head and your neck. That's it. There you go. Here's a blanket.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and then slide your hips off your props. Slide your hips off your props. And you can either cross your legs again the opposite way for Shavasana, bent legged Shavasana. Otherwise, you can stretch your legs over your props. Yeah, that's it. Again, if you need a blanket for your head and your neck, just take one from the pile there and slip it under the head and the neck. And either have your legs crossed for bent leg Shavasana or straight over your props. Those of you with your legs up the wall, just roll to the side and go for classic Shavasana. And just feel your legs and relax them. Feel your arms and relax them. Relax your face. Let go your jaw. Rest. Let go. And just see if you can relax a little bit more. And bring your hands onto your body and deepen your breath. Bend your legs and roll to your right side. And you can come up, you can sit on your props or anything that's there. And bring your hands to your heart center. Raise your chest upwards just a moment. Acknowledge yourself for coming and practicing today. And if you feel drawn to it, contemplate what is behind me, what is in front of me is nothing compared to what is within me. Raise your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Have a beautiful Sunday, and I'll see you soon.